And hello and good day. This is Boles.tv, BOLES.television, coming to you live and in person Monday through Friday. Now, at least for now, at high noon. I want to say big noon, or what's the new football thing that Fox does? High noon? No, not. That's what I'm doing. Big time noon, big noon football, I guess is what they're saying. But I thought, go with high noon. It's Western, it's guns, it's stagecoaches, it's dust. It's all good stuff. So here we are, sitting alone, in the dark, trying to figure out what to do and how to make sense of this human meme conundrum. And we do that very carefully together each day of the week and on weekends with the Jan-Marie sweetheart. And she'll be here live and in person at 11 a.m. Eastern. And the first thing that we should discuss is this. This is my University of Nebraska-Lincoln shirt. Hey, Nebraska. It's not for everybody. They're going through a big change with their coaches, firing Scott Frost, trying to find a new way into the future. And so far, the things you're hearing out of Lincoln are not great. They need to find a very good, robust, tough, smart football coach who needs to have a name. It can't be some guy they're going to bring up and, give him another, 5 years to try to see if he can make a difference in football. It's not interesting. It's not going to happen. So tomorrow, Nebraska plays Indiana, 7:30, coming off a bye week. And the big joke in all the Husker circles is said, if the Huskers lose to the bye week, I'm giving up. Now that's kind of funny, because a bye week means you don't play football. So if you're going to add another loss, that's really a problem for a program in dismay. And Nebraska is pretty much in dismay. They're having a very hard time. So we try to keep the faith. As a graduate of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, win or lose, the university, not the football team, the university endures. So this hurricane that is smashed into Florida is really interesting. And they're assessing damage. It's terrible. We lived through Hurricane Sandy. The current governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, when he was in the House, did not want to offer any help to East Coasters who were victims in blue states of Hurricane Sandy, but now he expects to be taken care of and babied as he recovers from Hurricane Ian in Florida. And that's what I want to discuss. How do people decide how to pronounce the name I-A-N? Now, most people have learned to say Ian. And that seems to be the way most people are pronouncing it on the television. However, some people prefer Ian, like the guy from 90210 Beverly Hills. Some people prefer the name to be pronounced, Ian, Ian, or my favorite, Jan. Was a great, tremendous superstar when it comes to chess. Jan Nepomucci. Ian Ziering. I've known a lot of Ians in my life, and we just usually default Ian until I guess they correct you. So I guess the default naming of the hurricane is generally pronounced Ian. At least that's what I'm hearing. Now, when it comes to covering weather events, I've always found it dismaying that there are some people who love to go out and place themselves in harm's way, setting a terrible example. Now, if you are, Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest or any of these social media companies, and, some young person happens to see something on your network, and then they end up being hurt or injured in some way, the social network is in trouble. But it doesn't seem to be the truth. It doesn't seem to be the same thing when it comes to reporting on weather events. Now, if a child would watch something on television and then go outside in the pouring rain and snow and hurricane, how is that any different? And here's an example. This is Jim Cantore, I guess of the Weather Channel, out here reporting live from Hurricane Ian or Ian. And there's no sound because we can't do that. But this is extremely dangerous. It's a bad example for a young child. And if a teenager, say a 14-year-old, went outside in this hurricane to do what Jim is doing, to make a video, and happened to be died or killed or happened to be injured, would the Weather Channel be responsible? In the same way that Meta and these other social networks are responsible for young people who injure themselves because they watch these things on social media? I find it absolutely ridiculous. And then Lara Trump makes a video of her son riding some kind of scooter, car, in the hurricane rain, and she puts it on social media and says, oh yeah, this is a character building event, while her son is shielding his face from the camera and appears to be crying. And there are people who say, look, don't post the Lara Trump thing because all it does is perpetuate the humiliation of her son. So I sort of agree with that. But if some mother who's a Trump lover goes out in this hurricane and puts her kid on a tricycle and says, ride it like Lara Trump said, build some character, and that child was injured, is Lara Trump responsible for it? I don't understand why Instagram and Meta and Facebook and these other social networks are responsible for what other people do based on the content. But if you're going to do that, then hold Lara Trump responsible and hold the Weather Channel responsible as well. I just think this is the most ridiculous thing. And this guy loves to go out in these storms. He lives for it, appears, year after year, to go out there and just show that it's windy outside. And he's putting his cameraman in danger and putting other people in danger. I just don't understand it. But it doesn't end there. Oh no, here we go. Hurricane Ian. Florida weatherman slammed on the Twitter after posting a video of a struggling kitten in a storm. Now, isn't this interesting? Storm surge rapidly rising outside. Wink news. A kitten on the bench trying to escape the water. Doors are locked, but we're trying to get the kitten inside. So people, I guess, went after this guy for exploiting the kitten. Now, no one really went after Lara Trump for exploiting her child. No one goes after Jim Cantore and says, you're exploiting the hurricane because I guess you want to look like a tough guy when you're really ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense to me. And it appears there's good news from the stranded kitten situation. Another reporter who claims she's posting for her friends at Wink without the internet says the kitten has been saved, if you will, by one of the station's producers who will adopt the critter. Now, a cat is not a critter. A cat is a person. Be careful. Meow. Here's the update. The kitty was stranded in the floodwaters outside Wink News and was saved by a wonderful producer who is adopting her. That's good. Posting my friends at the station who still can't get internet. They are working hard to get you back on the air. Beautiful cat. Oh, I tell you, it's very strange. Right after the video was posted, we attempted to get the cat, but it swam in a different direction out of view. I waited to post it in a minute. So you play with fire, you're going to get bit, burned, dragged into the ground. So that's my rant on who should be responsible in the media. Television channels, social media, they're all equally awful. Now, as we've discussed here previously, I love this digital art AI creation. And there are lots of imitators, and I've shared really terrible artificial art with you. Artificial AI, artificial intelligence art with you. But this is the king, the granddaddy, the mafia don of all of the artificial intelligence bots. And I guess yesterday it opened from being a closed beta into, I guess you can go and register now and get in and make your own artificial art, artificial intelligence art, AI art on the Dall-E website. And so I did. And I think you get, for your first month when you sign up, you get 45 tries, 45 attempts. Hey, it's Artist Dora. Oh, talk about the timing. Artist Dora's here just in time. She's here to have fun, and we're going to have fun. And I will put the link to the Dall-E AI meow meow in our Discord server so you can go and sign up yourself and play with it. So your first month you get 45, I don't know what to call them, tries, searches, generation of the art that you're interested in. And then after that, you get 15 a month. And this is all very generous, except you're like me, who's a big ridiculous hog and I can't get enough of it. I get addicted. And if you want to, for $15, I think they give you 115 extra searches. Not that I would know. And these are some of the things, and you can favorite them, you can share them. And if you hover over them, it tells you what the person typed to get this artificial intelligence art to fire. And there are secrets to it. Join their Discord server. They have little tutorials that say, okay, you're dealing with robots, you're dealing with computers. You have to be very careful what you ask and how you ask things to be created. So we're going to do a little bit of that together right now. Pumpkin cat horror lighting. And this is what I got, which I find completely delightful. As the kids say, none of this is real. This is all fakery. This is all created by a computer. These things do not exist in real life. These are not photographs. This is artificial intelligence. Here's another one I tried, ghost dancing with a skeleton in Soviet poster style, which I've learned is a new thing. And I love this. Now, I originally tried ghost strangling a skeleton, and Dall-E said that is a violation of our terms. You cannot use that phrase. I didn't know what phrase it was, but I'm sure strangling seemed to be the operative word, because when I changed strangling to dancing, it made my image. It also appears anything that has to do with the word Putin or Vladimir Putin is not allowed. They will not make an artificial intelligence anything of him. This was my favorite. that I struck upon this morning, because once you get addicted to Dall-E, you can't get rid of it. Persian cat with a machine gun, Soviet poster style. Now that is meow meow. And sometimes they're cut off, and I don't know why, and I don't know how to avoid it. But it's okay, because when you get a result like this, and there are letters here that don't make any sense, it's a computer, it's not a person, deciding what you're going to look like. Now, is that the cutest thing ever? Is that a machine gun? I don't know. I don't even know what this says, but that face. And as you can see, I did a lot with cats. These are some of my favorites. Now, I'll show you my all generations. This is the good with the bad. Some of these I just don't understand. This is my scary pumpkin with a cat. And these are all those that come up. Oh my gosh, Doris changed networks. I love it when she does that. Now she's on YouTube. Yes, cute. There's a lot of controversy over it, though. No. Yes. There is some controversy. But I don't understand it, really, because there are people who are very good at this, and they don't use Dall-E. They have their own supersonic software that they use to create artificial stuff. And they create artificial art that they then enter into art competitions, and they win. And the regular artists are furious, saying that's all created by a computer, not by a real person, so they should be disqualified. And I say, well, if you're using Photoshop, if you're using an iPad, it's sort of the same thing, because it's all a lower form of artificial intelligence. You're sort of faking out your ability to draw a straight line, or to pick a palette, to pick a color palette, to make your pen stroke look like oil paint instead of a watercolor or a pencil. It's the same thing to me. Now, should you have things that are only drawn by hand with real things and no computers? Okay. And should you have a competition that's only about artificial intelligence, which I would say includes Dall-E and your iPad and your Adobe Photoshop, because they're all the same thing. So this is my cat pumpkin horror lighting, which I love all of these. I think they're just delightful. Here's more dancing with ghosts. The artificial stuff really seems to work well with astronauts for some reason. I don't know why. Dora also said if others use other artists' work without compensation. Yes, that we've discussed. And you love digital art, so no problem there. Yeah, it can be a problem if you're using stuff from other people. But as I understand it, all this artificial art stuff is that the computers are creating for you are invented, because they could not get away with putting up copyrighted material. So it's all created by a computer. The other time we discussed this was someone who had taken a sculpture and taken a photograph of it and then reused it, and people were saying it's a derivative, a direct borrowing, which it is and it was. Oh, this was an interesting one that I hit on this morning. These are all variations. Here's the original. Musical notes dancing on the ocean in the style of Van Gogh. This turned out really well. And then it gives you 4 options based on what you type in. And then of those 4 options, you can then click on one and say, give me variations on that one. And it gives you extra variations. I find the variations, I've done quite a few, I find the variations not as effective as the original. But I'll show you what that looks like too. See, more cats, astronauts, cute. None of this is real, by the way. British fold cat in an astronaut helmet. And I got it wrong. It's either a British blue or a Scottish fold. So I mixed them together, and it looks like I got a British blue fold. And the fold is the ears, which is more evident on this one, I think. The ears are sort of in the Scottish fold style. So that I messed up on my own. This was a fun one that really didn't turn out very well. I thought it was a genius idea. A giant eye, bloodshot, with the New York City skyline. So I wanted a big eye with bloodshot in it, but in the outline of New York City. Is it technically right? Of course, because it's a computer. But is it aesthetically proper? No. Dora says, I'd never get up from my PC. Well, it's going to be true. You're going to spend the whole weekend doing this when you go to our Discord server and get the link. Because you will be addicted to it, as I'm going to show you in a moment. These are some other really, a microphone inside a television, inside a camera. Because we kind of do that. I didn't know how it would turn out, but this is very technically accurate. And I do love it. I didn't do any variations on these because why would I need I don't need a variation. These are perfect. I don't know, I remember what that one was. But I'm trying different styles here. A cat on a highway in the style of Jasper Johns. Okay, cute. I'll go for it. Another Herbie Husker. Didn't understand who that was. In Elaine de Koonig style. Love the style. That's not Herbie. Dora says, can you copyright these? That is a wonderful question. I don't know. I do notice that they watermark all of these. So if you see these little things down here, that's the Dall-E sort of logo. So they watermark it in that way, but that's all that I've seen. And if you want to, you can share it. It gives you a link. It's very, very slick, and people are using them everywhere. Now, this is my crow sequence, and I have to say, if I'm allowed to say it, sheer genius. This turned out really well. And what was my phrase that I was trying to say? Oh, these are all my variations. The variations are not as great as the originals. Yeah, I did a lot of variations on these because they're really fantastic. Okay, these are the originals. A crow eating a mechanical heart. That was my original idea. This is very plain, but I like it. This, okay, a crow eating a mechanical heart. Yes, I love it. This, a crow eating yes, I love that too. But this, wow. Now this is something that I would pay a lot of money for if a human being had invented this. A crow eating a mechanical heart. And the mechanics in the crow's head are in the heart, but it's eating the heart, and the heart is real or unreal. I think it's fantastic. This is really, I think, my favorite one of all of the millions that I've done so far. This, I tried. I can't get it quite to work. One phrase that people say works really well in the style of an album cover, for people who know what records are. This didn't work for me. A night in a spaceship as an album cover. I mean, it's interesting, but it's not what I was hoping for. Yeah. It's okay. It's bizarre. A little strange. This is I'm trying to get Nebraska somehow. A corn cob playing a trumpet. Okay. 4 iterations of that ridiculous idea. This I thought was fun. Aristotle riding a watercolor donkey. Now that, I don't think you could really get more precise than this. It's a watercolor, it's a donkey, and it's Aristotle. It was all night on this, and then early this morning, here again with the microphones, which I love. Oh, this was my attempt. Didn't work out great, but this was my attempt. American Sign Language in stained glass. Now, this is technically correct. but not right. The stained glass thing I did use a couple of times, which I thought was very interesting. Helen Keller dancing, this did not work out at all. I guess if you name people, they don't know who it is. I used JFK, didn't really work. These are my stained glass cats. I think there's a stained glass cats playing chess, I think is what the original was. Yeah, a chessboard made of cats in stained glass. And my goodness, how can you? That's exactly what I asked, and that's what the computer gave me. This for the Boles, bells.com website, a kettlebell with muscles in pen and ink style. The muscle part, I thought it would be kind of funny, like a flexed arm or a bulging. They didn't get the muscle right. But it's a kettlebell, and it's interesting and weird, so I will use it. Oh, now this is another one. Home run, if I might. If I may just say so. Hey, there's baby Jana. Those stained glass cats are so cool. Hi, Dora. Hello, Jana Marie. Now, what style is this? Yes, you're right. Keith Haring as a cat. Wow. Now that is 100% killer. Oh, look at that. And killer, I mean good. It's a cat playing a piano. These are my chalk cats. I can't remember what the original phrase was, but I will find it. The sun sets on a cat on the moon in chalk. This was very early, so that's very complicated, and I would never speak that complicated again. But the computer did it. This was interesting. I thought this would be a little more interesting than it turned out. A watercolor cottonwood tree weeping over water. Hey, there's Dora. Now, see, it's exactly what I asked for, but there's no, to me, interest in it. There's no twist. It's just very dull. This, I tried to be fun again. Two cats walking in the rain under a lamppost. It's exactly what you want. What I wanted was a pool of light from the lamppost. And I should say it that way, but I didn't say it that way. Jesus pushing a wheelbarrow full of gold. It's exactly what I asked for. And it's interesting how it decides if it's going to make a cartoon of it or not. This was another interesting one. God holding a monkey in the style of Keith Haring. This was my first Haring attempt. It didn't go well. This, total disaster. JFK riding a tricycle painted in watercolor. Okay, the tricycle's right. Yeah. Does it look like JFK? Not really. LBJ, maybe, not JFK. A cat eating a banana. A Persian cat eating a banana. This, I thought, would be... Using people again doesn't work. This, the original was Eisenhower on the moon playing football. And of course, well, here we go. It's soccer, not football. I don't know. American football, I don't know what I should have used. This, I was trying to blend the old with the new. Didn't really work out very well. Columbia University on the Prairie. It's what it is, but it's not very interesting. This was just, give me a simple one. And I tried Albert Einstein on Mars holding a pineapple. So they got the Mars part, the orange part, holding a pineapple. Is it like Einstein or is it Mark Twain? I don't know. It's a little confusing. Again, these turned out pretty well. I actually sort of like these. Astronaut in a Nebraska cornfield in the style of Banksy. Now, I don't really find this Banksy style, but I like the images. Oh, this worked out really well. Not that I picked the right phrase, but a cornfield in Times Square in New York City as a Polaroid photograph. Now this, they made it Polaroid, so the computer knows what a Polaroid is. I don't know why she's here. A cornfield, that's a big mistake. And I don't think you can delete these things, as far as I can tell. This is also part of my Polaroid moment, which I really think is very interesting. I like it a lot. I just have to figure out the right phrasing. None of these, I don't even know. They will, oh, I tried to do myself. Yeah, it doesn't pick people. It doesn't like do an internet search on David Boles and make it into a promo. It just didn't. None of it. Didn't work. This was very bizarre. Posted this on Twitter. Alexander the Great as a child coal miner in 1866, playing with a slinky as a courtroom sketch. Didn't really work out very well. This I love. Really, really well done. Mark Twain as the robot from Lost in Space as a sidewalk chalk drawing 852. 852 is this is really fun. When you go on the Discord server for Dall-E, you have to verify who you are and what you're doing here. And part of the verification process is you have to go to their website, create something with a phrase, add a number at the end. Mine was 852. Share it, make it public, copy the link, go back to Discord, put in the link. That's how you verify who you are on the Discord server. So there is a bar to joining, which I absolutely loved, because it gets you out there and forces you to do it. Saul Kripke and Ludwig Wittgenstein playing chess under the light of a moon as an oil painting. It's exactly what I asked for. But they don't do people very well. They don't have, like, photographs. And maybe they can't because of copyright issues. This is my cat, a Persian cat sitting on top of the Hubble telescope in a space painting. This is one who started it all, Aeschylus and Plato and Michelangelo's God. And Adam was trying to get the two fingers touching. And maybe I just should have said that, Aristotle and Plato trying to touch fingers would have maybe been more specific. So that's what I've done so far. Now, we're going to take a very brief break, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to show you how we do this. And I have a whole new thing on our intermission screen where I'm going to put up, from now on, what we're doing. What does this mean? So, next, creating AI art with Dall-E. Oh, yeah. And I say, okay. And then I have to make this smaller. And we're going to do this all together because this is a live stream. That's what we do. We have fun. Next. And then we take our break, and someone new comes here and says, hey, what's going on? Where is he? Why isn't he here? Well, there you go. We're on our break. Next, creating AI art with Dall-E. And it's perfect. And now, we return in a moment. Hey, we're back. Excuse me. Ooh. Oh, the weather here is wild. Cloudy, cold, cool, and I think Ian is on his way. I think Saturday, Sunday, Monday, next week is going to be very rainy. So now it's time to create some art with Dall-E. I've never done the surprise me because it's going to take one of my credits. Now, here's what I've learned. Normally, you try to be very specific, but not too specific. You can use pen and ink, anime style. There are certain phrases you can use. I noticed that things like with robots and astronauts, for some reason, render really well. I learned this morning that if you say like long shadow, horror light, makes a big difference. Dora says, yes, he's coming, but not as strong as he was, thank goodness. I heard he was back to a category something because he's back out sea and then he's going to go hit land again. So, Hurricane Sandy is still around. We still the subways, the path, you can smell Sandy still. It's very weird. And I can't remember if Sandy was a male or a female name. I know they go back and forth. It was a little confusing, but boy, Sandy will always be remembered. So here's the suggestion of how to phrase these things: an impressionist oil painting of sunflowers in a purple vase. Now that's interesting. So I have been thinking on break, what could we do that's sort of interesting? You want to be specific, but not too specific. Like adding color is problematic. Like and I tried this yesterday unwittingly and it didn't work. And then I read the tutorial and they gave examples wittingly that it doesn't work. Like you say, I want a red sphere and a red box. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you won't. A man wearing a blue shirt with a red hat. Out of 4, only 1 was accurate. And these are the tutorial people teaching how to use it. So they're saying the computer understands but doesn't really understand. So I'm going to give it a shot. Tall, thin man with a cane, horror lighting. That's all I'm going to say. Tall, thin man with a cane, horror lighting. Copy it because we're going to use it again. And then here we go. Now it's thinking, and this is the worst part of it all because you're nervous. You've used a credit. Is it going to be neat or is it going to be some person? Now, sometimes they use real people. Now, maybe I should have said, well, we'll do this again. Something else. But these are my results. Okay. Don't like it. No. This I don't understand. That's better. I don't like the head cut off, but it's sort of better. And then you come up here and you can favorite, right? Okay, it's saved your favorites. And then you can share if you want to make it public. And then you just click publish. And that gives you a link that you can use to send people there. Okay, so that I didn't like. But let's modify it. So this is what I originally typed. Tall, thin man with a cane, horror lighting. So the tall, thin man part didn't work. Let's make it, let's try this one. Robot with a cane, long shadow. And now we're using another one of our bits. And you hope it works out well. Sometimes you get a crow eating a mechanical heart and it makes your day and you want to retire because you've won the day. Okay, now this goes for cartoony. Hey, it's Donna Beth Anderson. Good afternoon, David. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Donna. What have you here? Jana Marie is here, over there, other room. She's here. She'll type in, say hello, maybe. If she's still watching. Robot with a cane, long shadow. Okay, now this is technically correct. The robot with a cane, shadow. If I were grading this, I would say that's an A. You did exactly what I asked you to do. Is it inspiring? Is it different, unique, fun? No, it's not. Oh, Donna's saying hi to Jan Marie. That's a test to see if she's watching or not. Here's another robot with a cane and a long shadow. So they've decided that the robot is going to be a cartoon. Now, maybe I should have said realistic. There's another robot. Oh, and Donna. Oh, finally. Janet Marie is here. And here's another robot. Long shadow with a cane. Weird. I find these really weird. And then you can click on this if you want to download it. So I accept all of these. They're all accurate. And then we're going to go back and we're going to change this again and see if we can get something that we like even better, which may not be possible. All thin man with a cane were hiding. So I didn't like how the robot turned out. So let's try long shadow. Long shadow with a cane. Graffiti. Man, I can't misspell. Long shadow. We need to add man. We need to add character. Man, long shadow with a cane, graffiti wall. Okay, we'll try it. Maybe it'll be... Oh, now that's interesting. A robot with a balloon. Abstract pencil and watercolor art of a lonely robot holding a balloon. That's pretty cool. Oh, now this is what... Ooh. Okay. I like the graffiti wall. I'm going to remember that one. I've never tried that before. That is very spooky. And sort of... Ooh, I like that one too. Oh, that's very good. I like that. A. This is A grade. Okay, not great. I'll download it, but I'm not thrilled about it. That's effective as well. And more, let's see. More lighting, make that candle lighting. At 3D hat with a cane, candle lighting. Okay, go. Now that's fun too. That's the pearl earring, a sea otter with a pearl earring by Johann Vermeer. Beautiful. That's a home run. Oh, the 3D was very... I've heard people use that, but I've never... Oh, no, look at that. What was my phrase again? A cat holding a candle. I like the glasses. I like the goggles. That's fun. Oh, look at that too. That's cute. That's not bad. Oh, it's a fat cat. Candlelight. I like it. Boy, that's cool too. Did I download that one? I don't know. Fun. Now, here you go. Now, this is, we haven't done this one yet. So, variations. Let's see, which one do we like the best? I like this one the best. So, we'll go over here, go to variations. You click on that. You're spending another unit. But then you get 4 new images based on the original AI image that you originally asked for. And they're all slightly different. So, here's the original. This is the next iteration based on that original because we like the glasses. I think they're goggles, right? Would you call those goggles? I think those are goggles. So the candle is different. The fatness is a little different. The glasses are different. Oh, that's cute too. That's really cute. Oh, oh, really cute. Gotta download all those too. So as you can see, I was going to talk about this for 5 minutes. I've been talking about it for an hour. It is, fortunately, unfortunately, tremendously addictive. And you can also upload an image, which I've not done yet. So like if you want to upload your face and then I guess you would add things to it. Is that how that works? Well, now I think I have to try. Okay, we'll use this old ugly face. And then what happens? Skip cropping. Now what do I do? Am I supposed to add stuff to it? Pan, change, what? What? Zoom in, image, edit image. I don't understand what it means. Anyway, so that is Dall-E. Fun. Try it. It's addicting in all the good ways. Now the next one, I'm going to do one more because it sets up the next thing I'm going to talk about. New York pretzel neon lighting. Yeah. This, no matter what shows up, is going to be perfect. It's going to be the perfect transition. Oh, look at this. Now, I was not expecting that. AI doesn't know how to spell. But boy, I love that. Gee. That is a neon pretzel. Have we ever seen one before? I don't think so. Not in this world anyway. Now, is that a pretzel or is that like just a conglomeration of messiness? Is it trying to spell pretzel? Probably. Now I just, because this is what happens, you have to refine it again. New York cabbie eating a neon pretzel. Oh, now let's see what happens. And then I have to stop or I'm never going to finish. I have a whole dental story to share with you. I have a whole chess scheme to share with you. Oh, now this doesn't look as good. I don't like when they use real people. I don't know how to get around that. Okay, so this is just a guy eating neon. I want the pretzel to be neon. So that's what you're dealing with a computer. Where do you find these people? But I do accept it because it's exactly what I asked for. But now I'm going to refine it one more time because you can't stop. New York cabbie eating a neon pretzel impressionist style. See, some of these key words like impressionist style, Van Gogh, Keith Haring, triggers something that always gets included. But you have to figure out what those triggers are. And you do that by spending a lot of time and money on getting these bits. Fabulous. I love it. I love every minute of it. A New York cabbie with a pretzel, neon, impressionistic style. I accept. 1,000,000%. Fabulous. Fabulous. Ah! And see, I'm going to use all these for my social media. So it's like, that's why I'm saving them all. Wow. Love it. I love it so much. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Now this one I'm going to try variation. Just because that's what we do. It's addicting and you can't get away from it. And there are other things you need to get done, and you're not getting it done. Now, this is another thing they say, that you tell it what lens you want it to use. I can't see your screen on YouTube. Is it a drawback of YouTube? No, it's a drawback of my stupidity by not sharing my screen with you. So we're not seeing any of this. So now I have to go back and show you what I've been doing. Thank you for saying something. It's me not paying attention. So here's the original. This is the variation. Another variation. Another variation. Fabulous. And another variation. So now we go back to my collection and we look at all the things that I haven't shown you. Here are the neon pretzels. New York cabbie eating a neon pretzel, impressionist style. Looking fantastic. New York cabbie eating a neon pretzel. So it's interesting how this chooses to parse these instructions. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's usually always interesting, and you often get what you ask for. There you go, Dora says. Oh, the cats are just wonderful. Cats, astronauts, robot. I wonder what a robot cat robot cat astronaut. Oh gosh, I think I'm done, and it keeps pulling me back. These are the long shadow. This is the graffiti wall. Really well done. This is the robot with the long shadow. Man with the cane. Cat. So, one more robot cat in a hat. Horror movie. Yeah, leave them that. Jan Marie says, how exciting to do your own art like this. Yes, that's what I'm saying. When we're done with the show, Jan Marie is going to come here and she's going to do some of her art as well. And she's going to put in wild and wacky, strange things, and we're going to see what happens. Oh, now this looks scary. Oh, it looks so scared. What was it? A robot cat horror movie. Okay. Wearing a hat. Oh, that's cute, though. Oh, okay. It's a scared cat. Oh, that's fun, too. I like all of these. Downloading them. Fabulous. Looks like this is like a drawing from the Mouse book by Art Spiegelman. Wow. Robot cat eating ice cream in the park. Realistic. We'll see what happens. It's like Christmas every time you type in something and hit enter. A robot cat eating ice cream in the park. Dora says all of the NFT artists will be going out of business. Exactly, 100%. This is the new thing. I should be making NFT art out of all of this. Have you seen that some of the Reddit avatars that were created by artists? One sold for, I believe, 20F, 15F, which was $20,000. And I actually have it, too. There were only 100 of them, and I have it. So that's Robot Cat in the park eating ice cream. Oh. And see, once you start getting these, you don't want to stop. You want to keep going. Oh, they're all just so beautiful. And then we're going to do one more variation. My favorite is this one. Oh, what are my variations on this one? Oh, it's so cute. Oh, cats and robots, astronauts. Fabulous. Oh, okay, here's the original. And then I say, look, I like this a lot, but give me variations. And this is what the robot does. the AI robot. Oh, and they get a little stranger and a little more abstract the more variations you do. And I can do a variation on a variation if I want to. Oh, look at that. Oh, they're so cute. Wonderful. So you remember like 10 minutes ago when I was talking about pretzels? Now we're changing topics. Hey, look at this. Ask New York City. It's a Reddit group. Oh, here's my avatar. This is the, here, I'll put this down. This is the avatar that is selling for $20,000 on OpenSea. It's called The Hand. And there are only 100 in the world. And there are three of them. There's the hand, there's the eye, and there's the teeth. And as you can imagine, one is a great big eye, and the other one's teeth, and they're surrounded by teeth and surrounded by eyes. This one is the hand with the weird thing and the hands all around it. And this was the first one I bought because, of course, Jana Marie Sweetheart with the ASL. This is like a perfect avatar if you care about the beauty of a hand. And that's why I won't sell it. I'll give you $20,000. Do it. And so you can see people have these avatars. Some of them they give you away for free because what happened with the Reddit avatars is very interesting. Is they put them on sale, and they range from $5 to $100. And there were some subreddits that were banning these Reddit avatars, NFTs. So if you buy money, if you spend money to buy an avatar, we don't want you in our group. It was really weird. And how Reddit got around it, they didn't go for a confrontation. Reddit said, okay, well, we're going to give away NFTs. I have one of them. You can have it for free and use it as your avatar. And it's an NFT that you can do whatever you want to with it. And so they had like 300,000 people who got these free NFTs, and people who got them loved them. And all these subreddits couldn't ban people anymore because they couldn't tell the difference between a paid and a free NFT. So NFTs won the day. So the question of the day was, if you watched Seinfeld, what are some running jokes, gags that are still true in New York City 30 years later? And Seinfeld, I have to admit, I'm not a Seinfeld fan, a Jerry Seinfeld fan. I'm a fan of the show. I'm a fan of Larry David because he was the genius behind that show. And when we moved to New York, we lived right across the street from Tom's Diner, which is the diner in the Seinfeld show. And Seinfeld was our show. We saw them filming. It was part of New York. It's who we were as part of our identity. So I said the one on with George, where he's trying to audition, I think, for a movie. And he says, "These pretzels are making me thirsty." And then somebody else responded to me right away and said, "These pretzels are making me thirsty," because George couldn't get the line read right. And all of his friends, they were all trying to give him a line reading on how to say that phrase. One of the lines from the show is, "You're going to say it like that," which is actually the most New York thing you could ever say. Someone is practicing something in the street, practicing with his friends, and the criticism you get is, "You're going to say it like that?" And another person said, "I say that in my head, the phrase, 'These pretzels are making me thirsty,' every day for no reason." And I said, "I do the same thing. It's one of my favorite stupid phrases of the world. And I just can't get enough of it." Now, before we take our break, hey, scary movies for kids. But of course, Beetlejuice, Hocus Pocus, Scooby-Doo, Coraline, Gremlins, Ghostbusters, Witches, E.T., Halloween Town, Hotel Transylvania. Oh, there are more over here. The Addams Family, and Coco. What are the most favorite scary kids movies in the United States, the Americano? Well, in Alaska, it's Scooby-Doo. Hey, Dora asks, "Do you know that I've never watched Seinfeld?" I've seen clips here and there, but never full episodes. Oh, you should watch one or two. They're fun. The early shows are best. And the last couple of seasons, they tried to keep going. Larry David left because he was tired, because he was the one writing all the scripts. He was the genius behind Seinfeld, Larry David. And he only gets half the money. The other half goes to Jerry. But it's a wonderful show. It's very funny. Very good acting. So in Alaska, it's Scooby-Doo. In Montana, it's the Addams Family. In Colorado, it's Beetlejuice. Favorite kids' movies. These are the kids' vote, and this is what they say. Ghostbusters in Virginia and Pennsylvania. New York. I guess that's Coraline. And what about New Jersey? Oh, same thing. Is that Coraline? Is that who that is? I don't even know who that is. Coraline. I don't even know what it is. Florida. Yeah, Florida. Hawaii is E.T. Interesting. Oh, this is just not working. Florida is E.T. too. Interesting. Scooby-Doo is popular in the South and the Midwest. Very interesting. Coco? I don't even know what Coco is. Halloween Town. Fun. So now we're taking our next break. Hey, and now I have to fix this again. Yes. Click, click. Next. Dental damnation. Okay, make this a little bit bigger for drama. The effect of the drama is coming up next. Next, dental damnation. Ouch. Fun. Returning in a moment. And we are back from break. Oh boy, what a day today. So many things left to talk about. I just noticed a whole bunch of new chat settings on Twitch, highlighting this and that. It's very interesting. I have no idea what any of it means, but I turned it all on. So it'll be interesting to see if it makes a difference. I'm so sorry. I'm entertaining myself. I have to go back to Dall-E. We have to do one more. You will. Dentist. Blood. Lust. Shadow. Misery. We'll see if I can. Oh no! Okay, I'm sure it's the blood, right? Pain. Yes. Oh no! What is it that's evil dentist? Pain. Lust? It's lust? Oh, now we have to figure out what's the wrong word. Lust. I guess blood was okay? Weird. I'm setting up my dental story, so I'm hoping this will be good. Oh, this is... This is looking really good. Ah, that's delightful. I'm easily entertained. This we have to do a variation. So I'm going to share with you this really terrible story. Now, here's the worst part of the story of all. The last time I went to the dentist, I learned, was in 2017, which is 5 years, which is terrible. Okay, 2.5 years for a pandemic. But the previous 2 years before that, I hate going to the dentist. What can I say? Because every time I go, there's something wrong. I'm loving all these images. I'm saving them all. Beautiful. Okay, enough of that. I'll keep going. So I went in, got it clean and check. Everything looked good. However, there were 4 cavities. First, there were only 2. Then suddenly they became 4. And so I asked the dentist, I said, well, how, is it 2 or is it 4? Well, there are 2. And then there's another one where it's like it's an old filling, and I see a shadow. I thought, oh, okay, so it's 2, and then they want to replace the mercury fillings, silver fillings, what do you want to call them, tin fillings, aluminum fillings, whatever they are, because that's what they do now. If you have the mercury fillings, they know, whatever they are, the silver fillings, they know that you're of a certain age and that they've been in your mouth for a certain amount of time. Oh, Dora's saying no to something. I hope it's not my artwork. And they want to take them out and put in composites. I love composites. Composites are tooth-colored. I think they're fantastic. They're like gel that they solidify with UV light. But this was not explained to me. I'm just making assumptions based on my research because I have a lot of experience with dental stuff all of my life, unfortunately. So I'm happy to get rid of the old fillings. That's thrilling. The only problem is when you have to go in and actually get them filled. So I go in on Wednesday at 9:30 in the morning. I'm the first one there. And I tell the dentist, hey, they're doing one here, one here, one here, one here. And I do it all at the same time. Now, I know that there are some dentists who want to do one side one day, the other side the other day, because they're worried about numbness, paralyzation of your tongue, whatever. But if they ever try that with me, I tell them, look, when I was 16 years old, I had 4 wisdom teeth pulled in one day, one session. I was given Tylenol 3, sent home. 6 hours later, I was called in to do an emergency shift on the radio with cotton in my mouth. It's fine to shoot me up. So this dentist did give me a hard time. She said, okay, we can do them all at once. So she starts, and I said, before you start, I have to tell you, I have a hidden superpower where this numbing stuff, lidocaine, whatever the stuff you're using, carbocaine, it doesn't last. You shoot me up, it disappears almost immediately. And what you do is you shoot me up, and then when you're getting ready to start, you shoot me up again, and then you go. And that's what she said. She said, okay, we'll shoot you up now, and then when I start the drilling, I'll shoot you up again. Great. I said, because it's a problem, because the dentist shoots me up, disappears for 20 minutes, comes back, and it's all worn off already. And she said, okay. So she shot me up 1, 2, 3, 4. Very painful. And she leaves for 20 minutes. I understand she's working on other people. So she comes back and it's already worn off. And I said, well, we have to do this all again. Hey, the dental experience, Dora says. I hate the dentist too. Well, you've gone to the dentist. You've been very brave. We had the monkeypox. We had the COVID. I didn't want to go. But we had to go. I think you went during COVID, you went a couple of times. And I asked the dentist, I said, before, when COVID opened, what happened? And they said they closed for 2 months, right when the pandemic started. And then they had to open again. And they had to wear all kinds of protective gear because people were in pain. And they had teeth that had to come out, and there were problems. So she comes back 20 minutes later, and I'm, timing her on my watch because that's who I am. And I can feel it's already coming back. I feel it all wearing off. And I don't know if she didn't believe me or what, but I said, we have to do it all over again. And she looked at me and she said, okay. And she did. So now we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're up to 8 shots now. And she starts drilling on the bottom, perfectly fine. On top, raise your left hand if there's any pain. And she looked at me and just, I said, yeah, I can feel. So she shot me up again. Drill, I can still feel it. Okay, so she went over on this side. Okay, drill. This one's fine. Up here, drill. She looked at me again. Shot me up. Went over here. Shot me up. So we're what? We're at 16 now? I don't know. So these two got drilled just fine. These two were never pain-free. I don't know if she missed the nerve. I don't really blame her because this has always been a problem. It either wears off, they don't hit the nerve, or I'm in trouble. I am trouble. I remember getting a root canal on one tooth, and I kept saying, shoot me up. And the dentist was in there digging out the root, and I was feeling every second of it. I raised my head and said, I can feel that. And the dentist looked at me and said, different dentist from the one I'm talking about, looked at me and said, it's impossible. You've had 4 shots. You can't feel this. I said, and I just gave in. What can I do? Yes, Dora went during COVID. They were very brave. I did not have the guts to do that. To take off my mask in that area. So these upper two, the whole time, I've pretty much felt all of it. And she was just, I'm almost done. So then she leaves again, which has never happened to me ever. And another, I guess, dentist comes in and starts doing the composite, which is like a gel thing, and they put a form over your tooth, and they fill it in. And I believe he was the head guy. It's his practice. And I had talked to him before previously, and it was very friendly. So I thought, okay, it's weird. I find it's weird that she left to have somebody else do the composite. And then she left, came back. Now, my whole side of my mouth, I cannot speak. Drool's coming out. Rinse. I can't rinse. Those areas are very sensitive. Yeah, Dora says. And they're saying gargle, so I can't even feel it. So I'm taking the cup, right? I'm bending over the sink. I can't feel any of this. So I feel where my tongue must be. My tooth. I feel with my finger. This burger. And I ran down all my shirt. It was ridiculous. But they're kind of looking at me like, well, what do you expect? You've had 18 shots. Of course you can't fill your mouth. You can't rinse. Well, then how am I supposed to rinse if I can't rinse? So she comes back. She fills everything in. Says, okay. And I can't talk. I'm asked about flossing. And she sort of cut me off and said, yes, go ahead and floss regularly. And I said, oh, okay. And then she was done with me. And she said, if you have any high points, which I always do, because I have been told many times by many different dentists, you have gear-like teeth. And they're like this. Most people, when they chew like this. When you chew like this. But what can I do? That's how my teeth are. So she said, if you have a high point, come in, Friday or Saturday, different dentist, or next Wednesday, she's there on Wednesdays, come in and see me. I said, okay. So I leave. And before I leave, I try to make an appointment. My next appointment, I want to move it forward 1 week. I talked about this on Twitter, and we had a communication issue with the Spanish-speaking woman at the front desk. I still don't know what happened with that. But if you want that story, go to my Twitter, @David Boles, and you can read the whole 14-tweet long thread. So the assistant says, before you eat anything or really drink anything that's, hot or really cold, wait 2 hours, and then your mouth, everything should be done. So I thought, okay. So I went home, bored to death, waiting for my 2 hours to be over, and it was almost to the day, to the moment, 2 hours, done. And I could feel my mouth. I could feel like, I could feel there was a high point on the tooth. And I thought, okay, well, it's high, but I can put up with it for, a week. And then, this is where it gets very nasty. Because now it's like 2:30. I got home like, 1:30. So I've been there from 9:30 to 1:30. That's how long this took. And it's 2:30, and I have all the feeling back in my soul. I decide, well, now that I can feel everything, I'm going to floss, because I'm religious about flossing, because I have bad teeth. And as a child, I would cry to the dentist, why do I have 10 cavities? How is it possible? I brush, I floss, why? And the dentist said, it's not really you, it's not really your teeth, it's not anything you're really doing, it's the spit in your mouth. Corrosive spit, I don't know. So I take out my Glide, and Glide is because I have very tight teeth, Glide is the only thing that works for me. Recommended by a dentist. Advanced multi-protection floss, clean mint. So and sometimes when I floss, I break it because my teeth are very tight, they're gear-like. And that's a good thing, the dentist said. So I take that. And immediately I discovered that I cannot floss between the teeth that were composited, which is what I was trying to ask her. Why didn't you do a floss test after you did the fillings? Every dentist I've had for the 50 years of my life, whenever you get something filled or changed in your teeth, they do a floss test. And sometimes these are a little sandpaper between your teeth to smooth things out. But you always floss to make sure, first of all, that it snaps. Because if a floss doesn't snap, it's an instant failure on your dental exam as a dental student. I think there were three. One I was able to get to work, but there were three. So that upset me very much because I am a religious flosser. I floss twice a day, in the morning and at night, because it's good for your gum health, not because there's anything stuck in there. So that really concerned me. So I call the office. I say, hey, I have a high spot, which is not a problem because that happens. I need an adjustment. But what I'm really concerned about is I can't floss. And I was very lucky that the receptionist said, well, if you can get here before 2:45, 3:15, the same dentist will see you. What? I'll be there in 5 minutes because we live a block away. So I got all ready, ran over there. Everybody's like, what are you doing back? Why are you here? I said, well, I have a high point. I said, but they don't have that. It's more than that. So the dentist, the old man dentist who did my composite said, why are you here? What happened? So I explained to him, and there was no floss test, and the compound has bled, I guess, into another tooth because I can't get. And his eyes were like, because he was the one who did it. So the dentist comes in. I'm calm because I'm very happy that I'm there, but I'm no longer numb. I explain what happened. She checks. She says, oh, it goes through just perfectly. I said, go the other way. She breaks the glide. Goes up, breaks the glide. Breaks the glide. She said, oh, I think this one's okay. I said, so I thought, well, this is going to be interesting. Is this either going to be fixed or is it not going to be fixed? I mean, can't she just, drill or put something in there to open it up so I can floss, snap, and pull out? And when you floss, you go down, right? Snap, between the teeth, snap, then you pull it out. Most people are taught to floss wrong. They go down, snap, and then they go back up, snap, and they pull out their fillings. That's a secret. And so I explained to her, look, there's no snap. On this one that I can get through, there's no snap. And on the others, I can't even get through. And she was sort of trying to tell me that's okay. I said, no. I know the snap test. I know I have tight teeth, but this is not right. So finally, she decided, without telling me, that she was going to redo them all. Which I sort of felt bad for her because she didn't do it in the first place. She left, and the old man did it. So, although no shooting me up again, because I guess we're not getting that deep, but she redid all of the composites. And I told her my story about the snap test with my Russian dentist, and how he was fixing two in between. When you have teeth like this, and you have a cavity here and a cavity here, that's an in-between tooth filling. It's the hardest thing to do in dentistry, because you have to fill this tooth, and you have to fill this tooth, and they have to be together, right? And then when you take your floss in between, it has to snap down, pull it out. And he did it, and there was no snap. He said, I have to do it again. I said, this is years ago, 5 years ago. I said, why? He said, there's no snap. I said, but no. If there's no snap, you're going to have a food trough, a meat trough. Things are going to get stuck in there. It must snap. And then that's when he went on to tell me that in a dental exam for the state, at least of New Jersey, that if it doesn't snap, it's an instant fail. You have to repeat the whole thing. You will never get your dental license if you don't snap. So he had to do it 2 more times to get the snap, and then he got the snap, and he was satisfied. So that's a good dentist who will not give up and who will do it. So I told her that story, and I could see in her eyes, it was like, oh. So she redid it, and this one, okay, this one has like a double snap, but at least I can get through with the floss. This one, she could not get right. Again and again and again, 4 times she redid this composite to get it to properly snap right. And then at the end of our session, she said, well, You're my first patient of the day and my last patient of the day. Because I've been saying, well, because there was residue of the composite on another one of my teeth, so I can scrape that off. This is not quite right. There's a sharp thing here. So she did all that. And then as she said that, she said, and if you need anything else, you can come next Wednesday. She'd had enough of me. And I, frankly, had enough of her. And then she asked me, she said, so do you live in Jersey City, or do you live in Manhattan? And I knew exactly what she was doing. Dora says, snap, pop, crackle. Oh boy, what a time you had. Yes, I was really pretty much in that chair from 9:30 in the morning to 5:30 at night. All day. I had 1 hour at home. And then while she was fixing me, she'd say, do you mind if I go? I'll come back in 15 minutes. I said, that's fine. So I went to the bathroom, blood pressure break, and she came back 15 minutes later, kept working, then she'd leave, see somebody, came back. I was grateful for that. So I knew she was, sort of trying to figure out who I was, what I was doing there, and why I was bothering her. So I told her, look, I used to teach at UMDMJ when it was still that. I taught public health. I've done this. And then suddenly she had a little bit of respect for me. Where before, I think she thought I was just some big dumb guy from Jersey City who just wants to get his teeth done and get out and I'll never see her again. No. So it all sort of turned out okay. Not perfectly, but okay. And she checked this one finally. She was satisfied with it. Then she told me, oh, by the way, her daughter is in dental school at Rutgers. And I said, oh, that's hard to get in, because I had students who were in public health who were taking public health because they couldn't get into the dental college. And these are very smart, wonderful students. And I said, how did she get in? Because it's very tough. She said, it's very, very hard. And I'm thinking, well, maybe she got in because her mother is a dentist. And she said a weird thing. She said, well, it's a high demand profession. And I thought to myself, if it's a high demand profession, which I don't believe it is, if you read Reddit groups and if you know dentists, they're all suffering because they don't get a lot of money from these insurance companies and there's no money in it for them. She said, well, it's a high demand occupation. And I'm thinking, if it's a high demand occupation, why would they so severely restrict who gets in? To me, it's just the opposite. It's not a high demand profession. There are too many dentists, so the schools can be very, very, very super picky about who they let in their doors, who can pass the SNAP test. But I didn't say that to her because she was tired and she wanted to go home. And I was tired and I wanted to go home. And now the next day I flossed like 2 or 3, 4 times. Perfectly well. Everything's good. But yesterday was Thursday, right? Very exhausting day. I mean, I had, 16 puncture marks in my mouth from all the lidocaine shots. Not a great day. Very exhausting. And that lidocaine stuff makes your heart race. My Oura Ring gave me a very bad report yesterday morning saying there's something wrong with you. Your resting heart rate is very high. Your overnight temperature is too high. What did you do yesterday? Well, I sat in a dental chair for about 8 hours. So that is my dental horror story. And I'm not proud of it. It's painful. It's difficult. It was a hard day. And as I said to the dentist on my way out, smiling, of course, now you know why. I only go to the dentist every 5 years because it's this painful. And I said, it's not you, it's me. And it's true. And I said, well, come back in 6 months. Let's make your appointment right now because, with your dental insurance, you can come back twice a year. And I said, oh sure. I'll call you. It's exhausting. But one thing she says, your front tooth here is a little, is it that? Yes, this one. Your front tooth is a little, it's a little shadow there. It's because the shadow was the silver mercury metal filling. So I'm going to take that out, put a composite in it. It will immediately look better. And there's a shadow there, so there could be that was one of the things. There could be a cavity there. I don't care. They got rid of the metal, put in the composite. Snap. Double snap on that tooth. But it's okay. It all worked out fine. So, oh my goodness. So now, so many things to have a conversation about. Now, we're going to talk briefly, because it's just so fascinating, about cheating in chess. Now, we're not going to play chess. We're just going to talk about cheating in chess. Because it's very bizarre with this Magnus Carlsen, Hans Niemann episode about people cheating in chess. And I guess there's a long history of people cheating in chess. I didn't even know it was a thing, but it appears it's a thing. In 1962, U.S. prodigy Bobby Fischer accused Soviet players of deliberately drawing their games, which I guess is a form of cheating. Hey, we'll draw with each other so we can save our energy to beat Bobby Fischer. Deliberately drawing their games to preserve their energy for games against Bobby. 4 decades later, the former head of the Soviet team that year admitted the allegations were true. And of course it's true, because you're there, you're playing, and Bobby Fischer's games are 5-6 hours long. And the Russians are sitting down playing 10 moves and done in 5 minutes. And so are there modern methods for cheating? Best players no match for chess games that can run on a phone. Garry Kasparov, the legendary Russian player, was able to beat IBM's supercomputer Deep Blue in 1996. He became the first world champion to lose a match to a computer the following year when Deep Blue won a rematch. As Nigel Short, an English chess grandmaster, said, "My microwave could beat Magnus Carlsen." Magnus is the current grandmaster of chess, the world chess champion. So here's a conversation talking about Magnus Carlsen accusing Hans of cheating. And there's this meme online that Hans had anal beads. People were joking, but now they've taken it seriously. Up his bum, and was somehow getting Morse code sent to his anal beads telling him what moves to make against Magnus. Ridiculous, right? Doesn't make sense, right? I don't get it. But that's now the story of the day. Of anal beads that are giving you hints on how to move your chess pieces. It's clear that cheating has become organized and sophisticated over time. And what are you going to do about it? How do you stop it? How do you even cheat in chess? CNN asks. That's what I say. I mean, if you're at home and you're playing against somebody and you have your iPhone with you, then you can put the moves on your iPhone and it'll tell you what to do, and then you move it on. That's easy. I think there's a lot of cheating online in chess that way, which is why I really don't like to play people, because people cheat. And if you're going to cheat using a computer, I would just rather play the computer. Because then I know I'm not going to win, even at its dumbest, lowest ability. I'm not going to beat a chess computer. Sometimes I do, but the computer doesn't like to lose. But I have learned that with computers, if you play a very conservative game, and if you don't exchange pieces readily, and you don't initiate the exchanges of pieces, even if you're playing white, the computer gets very frustrated, because that's how the computer knows it's winning, is by counting what pieces are being exchanged. So if you can get to a middle game, or even a 3/4 game, not an end game yet, the computer is almost set to self-implode and will make a really bad, very obvious, shockingly bad move that then you can take advantage of. which usually means taking a piece. And then it just sort of gives up, the computer, if you can get to that point. Computers like to hit hard and hit early. And if you resist it, no matter what color you're playing, the computer says this is not functioning, does not code, does not make sense. Something to keep in mind. So CNN says, well, Morse code maybe is the way some of these people are cheating. Because I can't imagine over the board, when you're sitting across the board from somebody, up north laughing, how you can cheat. But I guess there have been cheaters who cheat. And there are arbiters walking around. You're on television, streaming today. It's very difficult to cheat. Carlson says, I believe that Neiman has cheated more recently than he was publicly admitted. His over-the-board progress has been unusual, and throughout our game, the filled cup, I had the impression he wasn't even tense or fully concentrating on the game in critical positions, while outplaying me in a way I only think a handful of players can do. So Magnus Carlsen accused Hans, this is Hans, of cheating in their over-the-board game. And right now, we don't have any proof of it, except that Hans is admitted to cheating online and was punished for it. But is he cheating in person? And it seems like it's the lower-rated players who cheat because the top players want to make money, and you're not going to be making money on a chess tour if you're known as a cheater. But if you're not one of the top players and you want to, win some money by winning an event, well, then maybe you cheat a little bit. At one point, young Soviet champion Anatoly Karpov claimed Russian exile Viktor Korchnoi was trying to blind him with his mirrored sunglasses. Later, waiters served Karpov a blueberry yogurt, and Korchnoi suggested it could be used in coded communications from his opponent's analysts, meaning, I guess, the blueberries would be in a certain position. More recently, FIDE stripped Georgia's Gauz Ningladze of his Grandmaster title and banned him from competitive chess for 3 years in 2015 for repeatedly visiting the bathroom in the middle of a game to check his phone to find the best move. Also in April of 2015, an Italian amateur player was caught using Morse code and a camera to cheat in a competition. Hiding a video camera inside a pendant around his neck, wires attached to his body, in a small box under his armpit. I kept looking at him. He was always sitting down, never got up. Very strange. We're talking about hours and hours of play. These games last 5-6 hours. I don't think I have the patience for it. Above all, he always had his arms folded with his thumb under his armpit. He never took it out. And he blinked in an unnatural way, as if he was concentrating on the board but lost in some other thought. Then I realized he was deciphering signals in Morse code. Point, line, dot, dash, dit, dot. That was what he was doing. So now we get even stranger information about this. Talisman Zero. You cannot find this webpage online anymore because it's been taken down. So this is a screenshot, a web archive from February of this year that maybe gives you a little bit of an insight into how you can cheat live, in real time, in person, in over-the-board chess. And it's only going to cost you $6,000. Talisman Zero is the new and improved chess engine that is covertly used during over-the-board play. The engine is extremely strong. It has a 3,300 ELO rating. To be a Grandmaster, you need a rating of 2,700. Magnus Carlsen is now around 2,800. This machine can go to 3,300. Massive, massive advantage. It has a 3,300 ELO rating, make it making it unbeatable against any human chess player. A small footprint ensures it's easily hidden in a belt, shoe, or virtually any piece of clothing. It may even be worn directly next to the body. The small size of Talisman Zero makes the device practically undetectable. Talisman Zero is next generation, sophisticated technology. Complete secrecy. Never lose another chess match. The engine may be tuned downward as low as 1500 ELO. Varying engine strength between low and high gives the appearance of natural human play. The device may be used in wireless mode, where the small processing unit can be up to 100 feet away. The input and the output are controlled by an optional tiny wireless remote capable of easy concealment anywhere on the body. Become an international grandmaster instantly. Small foot, new and improved, low ferrous content, use cases. A very well-known chess player used Talisman Zero on several occasions in 2020 and 2021 without detection. Testimonials, and you get a warranty. Ships in 4 weeks via UPS and plain packaging. Shipping is free inside the USA. Includes 1 hour of one-on-one instruction by audio chat if desired. The price is $6,000. Order now and save money. Remote control module included for free for a limited time. Normally it's $750. So I guess from what I am trying to discern is this machine must be some kind of little thing that vibrates. That's all I can think of. And you put it, on your chest or on your belt or in your wristwatch, and it must do like Morse code or something, telling you King K6 takes P1. And he would have to dot, dash, dot, interpret it, and then make the move. And when people look at Hans Niemann's games, he has several 100% games, no mistakes. I think Magnus Carlsen has 2 in his entire career. And Hans has had, 5 in the last 3 weeks? Something like that. So it's very strange. All the evidence points to something weird going on. No one seems to want to actually call it out and prove it yet, though, which is a problem. But with these talisman things, I just don't know. And maybe that's why everyone's joking about, the anal beads, because it's up there, it's hidden, no one's going to check you down there, and then it vibrates and you know what move to make. But if you have some kind of little device that's giving you information somehow, it's a terrible thing. And you think it would be easy to, interfere with the signal if it's a wireless signal. Someone somewhere is running the game computer to get the next move and then transmitting it to the player. The player is not looking at a phone or looking at the player's just sitting there. And the coach usually, or someone on the team, is sending the move to the player to make. I still don't know how it's done. Even if you have a little talisman thing for $6,000, and if it's moving or tapping you, it's going to make a sound, it's going to fall out, people are going to see. I don't know how it's possible. There was one chess player years ago, and she sort of stopped playing chess after she was accused of cheating by an old man, grandmaster, who said that she was getting radio waves through her lipstick. When she would put on her lipstick, it was vibrating and somehow giving her the moves to make. And it was all unfounded. It was all a lie. But she was a young, attractive woman who got all this negative attention from these old men chess players, and it was a big problem for her. So she was resurrected, exonerated, but it ruined her career. And speaking of career ruining, I guess it goes both ways. A chess grandmaster fired for making sexist remarks. Shocking. Since scoring a grandmaster norm has nothing to do with gender, only obtaining certain performance in a tournament against strong opposition, one of the commenters, a man, said of these women playing chess, "Yes, of course, why not?" That was the woman who was hosting with this older GM. And she's saying the women are doing well. Why can't a woman be a grandmaster? Because right now you can be a WGM, a women's grandmaster. But if you want to be a grandmaster, you have to compete against men. So this old guy said on the stream, I don't know, for instance, why women can play with men and men can't play with women. Today would be like everything for parity. And the host says, the woman host says, but you cannot. I mean, you're saying chess is maybe not for women? And the grandmaster says, I didn't say it openly. Sorry, private conversation. So then his co-host, who should have said, stop talking, reminded him of an earlier remark. You said that GM Alexander Goroshinska is playing like a man. And the old man didn't take back his comment, but instead said, yeah, it's true. She played in the Russian championship. A small minus she made, but it was a strong tournament, and she had a 2,600 rating recently. And the female host says, yes, but what does that have to do with playing like a man? Only men can play well? And the old man says, no, but she's playing a positional style, very strong endgame. Well, the old man's remarks caused a lot of protest on Twitter. And former Women's World Championship Susan Polgar joined in the conversation. And what happened is, FIDE, which was the official live stream of the FIDE chess organization, ended up firing the guy. First they said, oh, he's going to make an on-air apology. And that wasn't enough. He was saying terrible things about women. Women shouldn't be playing with men. Women are not as strong or as smart as men. And his co-host wasn't really egging him on. She could have said, stop talking. But instead she just kept, asking him to clarify exactly what he said because she was sort of horrified by what he was saying. And he just went with it. Yeah. Men, women, keep them apart. They shouldn't play together. So they fired him and brought in another chess player who was the husband of one of the other women playing in the tournament, which was very interesting and very well done. So we've had a lively and wonderful show today, and I thank you so much for being here. If you have any thoughts or comments, you can email me, David, at Boles.tv, on Twitter, at David Boles, on Facebook, we're BOLES, Instagram is Boles Books. And if you want to get the links from today's show, including a Dall-E invitation, you can go to our Discord server and say hello there. So until I see you again, I wish you a wonderful day, a good nap, a wonderful rest, and when ye shall awaken, may you or may you not be a robot cat on the moon eating an orange. I'll see you soon.